This is a person who has been a leader in Vermont for well over a decade, who tackles the hard issues, who is a reformer, who is fearless, and also displays extraordinary humility and works with everybody, and I'm just incredibly impressed by her. And I'm so glad that she is with us tonight and will be with us in the future as a leader in Vermont. Keisha Ram-Hinsdale.
Well, first of all, Lauren, I was worried about upstaging Sarah with my outfit, so thank you. Didn't have to worry about that. Sarah is not to be upstaged anyway. A couple things I want to say off the bat. You know, this is a year of great change when people are retiring and deciding to leave, when people are shooting for the moon and landing in the stars, where people are getting in races and out of races. And we should be really grateful that Sarah knows exactly what she can do. She's committed to doing it. She didn't need to go anywhere or do something different. She has the title that matters, and she has the title that allows her to do the best work, and she is not going anywhere. And that is really critical, and we should all be grateful for that. Two, I'm looking around and I see more legislators and VIPs and important people than I can probably name, and I don't have my glasses on. But you should all know, Sarah also brings a lot of unusual suspects into the room politically. They aren't always, people in politics. They're for everything, exactly. And so what that often means is it's our job to tell you, we need her. We need her. When I go to the legislature and I sit down with her and have a drink and say, ending cash bail, decriminalizing truancy, and ending the use of suspension and expulsion as behavioral tools that create the school-to-prison pipeline, ending life without parole, ensuring people have fair chances and second chances wherever they can while protecting victims and making sure everyone in the system actually gets the justice they deserve. We need her as a thought partner and a leader and someone we can say that is proof of concept, and we can do this in the whole state. So you are not just electing someone who serves Chittenden County well, but make sure that our state stays on the right side of justice and the right side of history as well. And finally, what I want to say truly off the bat is that Sarah's job and who Sarah is, it's the kind of thing where if things are going right, you don't hear about it. And when things are going right, Sarah doesn't go and shout it from the rooftop. She just does more of it. And that is just, I can't tell you how critical that is in this moment and in the times that we're in, is just to see what's working and keep doing it and not turn around and make sure it's on social media or, whatever the case may be, but just to keep day in and day out doing the good work. I first met Sarah when I was a very young victims advocate for Steps to End Domestic Violence. And, I was in my early 20s. Sarah wasn't that much older, but still, she seemed that way to me. She had a great suit on. And, I just remember I was really thinking about how to do my job and help victims of domestic violence and be in their corner, and that's really important. But Sarah taught me that so often it's not about being on the side of the victim or the alleged perpetrator, but being on the side of justice and being on the side of healing and being on the side of humanity. And that is so often lost in our court system. Nobody wins if somebody is crushed into the ground and no longer feels human. Nobody wins if a victim, gets something that they think they want but doesn't make them whole. And Sarah has never been about winning, but about doing what's right. And that's such a critical component of what we need in the system and what her nature is. So, I think that's really enough from me. You all know how important it is to re-elect Sarah. Sarah doesn't, we know her coalition is big. We know that she just wants to do the work. And so it's really up to all of us to tell people in our county and in our state that we have a champion that works on the scale of national prominence, that helps us be a leader nationally, that connects with other people doing incredible work around the country, and that work is necessary here in Vermont. I can tell you, as the only woman of color in the state Senate, I'm looking at Stephanie Seguino, we have issues and we have disparities that put us on the same playing field as the Deep South. You know, we have currently in Chittenden County, and Sarah's been working on this, 2.5% of our young people are black men. They are 25% of those charged as youthful offenders. Burlington police arrested almost as many black teenagers as white teenagers. Highly disproportionate in terms of their presence in the population. Those are kids who feel over-criminalized. I know what that's like as a brown kid who grew up with the LAPD, who end up feeling like, why should I be anything else but a criminal if that's already what they think of me by the time I'm in middle school? And Sarah makes sure that she goes as far back in the system to where people are being pushed into the river and make sure that that doesn't happen to them and that they never drown, and then we don't lose them in society and we don't lose them in the system. It's so rare not to just have someone like that in the state, but to have someone like that in the country. Because it's hard, because she gets criticized, because doing what's right is never what's easy. That's who we have in Sarah George. That's who we will reelect. That's who we will hold up when the work is hardest. So this isn't just about what happens on Election Day. This is about making sure that we celebrate Sarah George for the champion for justice that she is.
So much. Thank you all so much for being here, for all of the texts, the calls, the emails, the donations, your physical presence here. Thank you for showing up for this movement, for this work, for these issues, for this campaign. Thank you, David. You are killing it so far. We'll definitely hire you back. Might pay you sometime. Lauren, I love you. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much for being here. And Keisha, I could just talk about your leadership just as much. She is a partner in this work, and I am so sad that she's no longer in the congressional race, but I am so grateful that we are not going to lose her in the Senate, and we need to also, while we're here, make sure we do not lose her in the Senate. Because the work is really important, and I try to do a lot of it without the legislature because I get sick of waiting, but but it is important, and we need to have Keisha there. Thank you so much to the host committee, Michael and Amanda Stevens, David Scher, Jessica Burke, Zachary York, Chris Miller, all of you. I'm super grateful. Taylor Small, yes. Rep Small.
Right.
Also, any Winooski residents, please support Taylor Small for rep. Yeah, everybody, thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of this movement. It feels really weird to say that it was 5 years ago this week that I launched my first campaign for Chittenden County State's Attorney. And some of you were there. Super grateful for those of you who were, and some of you had no idea who I was. So welcome. I'm really, really grateful for all of you. When I spoke to the crowd 5 years ago, I made a lot of promises that I intended to keep. I promised I would fight for the expansion of expungements, harm reduction approaches, and I promised I would do everything I could to save lives. I was specifically talking about the overdose epidemic. Again, this is 5 years ago. And that if I could find a solution that would save lives, I would upset people to do it. I would have really hard conversations. I would force people to talk about it. I would do things that seasoned politicians would absolutely tell me not to do. And I'm not standing here today feeling super proud about where we're at in the overdose epidemic. I don't believe that we are, but I do know that I have created and forced conversations about the issue that others have not, that a lot of people have shied away from. And I have certainly done things over and over again that seasoned politicians have told me not to do. I have advocated for things that are not the popular thing, but are the right thing. And I will continue to do that every day until we as a community, as a state, are truly doing right by those in our community that are suffering from substance use disorder. I also promised to work collaboratively with all of the people represented in our community. I said then that I felt it was important, or that this position couldn't be successful without collaborating with mental health counselors, mental health professionals, law enforcement, defense bar, politicians, school counselors, mental health counselors, everybody. But what I didn't account for, and what I didn't account for was the way that people, when you're dismantling a system, the way that people who feel threatened by the dismantling of that system don't want to collaborate, right? So I learned that, or I didn't account for the fact that a lot of people were going to demand their seat at the table, demand to be in the room in the name of collaboration, when in fact they didn't want to actually work together. When they didn't actually want to acknowledge that our legal system is racist and classist, and that it's actually not broken, it's doing exactly what it was designed to do, which is to over-police, over-prosecute, over-incarcerate people of color, people with mental health issues, people with substance use disorder, and poor people. How do you engage with a media who prefers fear and misinformation over facts? How do you engage with people who believe that the only form of prosecution or accountability is jail? How do you join forces or work with people that your very policies will mean less money in their pockets, will mean less people in their profession? How do you join forces with them when it means that you are selling out the very people you are promising to protect, the very people that you are promising to uplift, and that when you do collaborate, meaning you sell out your mission or your movement, the same people get hurt, get marginalized, get criminalized, get victimized over and over and over again. So, I'm in front of you today having learned some lessons 5 years into this, and I have new promises. I do promise to collaborate with community partners. I do believe that this movement and this work cannot be successful without collaboration. But I'm here today to tell you that, and promise you that I will collaborate going forward in this campaign, in this movement, in this work as state's attorney with those who want to strengthen communities by giving power to people and not systems. I will collaborate with people who want to save lives and not decades-old philosophies that don't work. I will collaborate with those who say Black lives and trans lives matter and then actually work to dismantle the systems that oppress them. Those people who know that pride is not just a flag, that it started as a riot, that know that it wasn't about marriage equality, it was about police brutality. In the last 5 years, we were the first office, and I have deputies in my office here. I'm super grateful for everybody in my office doing this super, super hard work. They are doing the work. They are very busy despite what you see. They all are very busy. So in the last 5 years, we were the first office in the country to decriminalize the possession of buprenorphine, a life-saving. We started it here in Chittenden County. Other jurisdictions around the country stole my policy, implemented it in their offices. Yes. Eventually, the legislature made it Vermont law. We declined and diverted countless cases, each one of those people taken out of a system that has been proven to cause more harm than good. We have been able to, because we've done that, we've been able to focus our time and our resources on crimes of violence, on domestic violence, sexual violence, and gun violence. We were the second state's attorney's office in the country to eliminate the use of cash bail. Doing that guaranteed that anybody held pre-trial is held for public safety risks regardless of their wealth. We have implemented a racial equity policy, a truancy policy, a non-public safety stop policy, a DUI diversion policy. We have expunged thousands, looking at you, Mairead, thousands and thousands of old criminal convictions, providing each one of those people with new opportunities to get better jobs, better housing, better education, all of those things. For every media story that misrepresented an outcome or dramatized an outcome, we had hundreds, if not thousands, of people who came through our system feeling some sense of justice at the end of it, feeling like they've been heard, feeling like the system had done okay by them, feeling like they had reclaimed their conflict and found their own sense of justice. We did all of this every single day, juggling hundreds of cases at a time each, all to ensure true public safety. And we're just getting started. Yeah. So much work to do. The last 2+ years have been tough on our community. Pre-pandemic, we had 35 chronic houseless people in Burlington. We now have 160. Vermont is still one of the most racially disproportionate prison populations in the country compared to our racial makeup. Our overdose fatalities are horrific. As of today, we have 23 people who have died this year in Chittenden County from overdose. Those are mothers, fathers, siblings, friends. They all deserved resources, services, compassion, and mercy, and they got barriers, stigma, and excuses. Prosecuting people is not how we best provide housing, employment, services, childcare, baby formula. All of the things that our community needs do not come from prosecution. But we have become overly reliant on a system of harm to help people, and it doesn't work. We have so much more work to do. I promised you 5 years ago, and I promise you again today, that I will work every single day to keep this community safe. I will use my position to make a difference not only in this county, but around the state. I will use it to keep pushing boundaries, to keep upsetting people, to keep upsetting the status quo, keep demanding data-driven, research-based policies. I will use my position to do all of this every single day if given the opportunity. I will demand that people in this community hold the power and not the systems. I can't do it alone. It does take all of us. It takes all of us and then people that you know. We have, this is a contested race, and the movement is on the ballot. This work is on the ballot, and your voice is important. You need to use your voice to tell everybody, and you need to vote, and you need to make sure everybody else votes. This is an August primary in the summer in Vermont. I get it. Early voting starts June 25th. It's a lot of work that we have to do really, really quickly. But I am truly overwhelmed by all of the support. The benefit of a contested race is people show up. And I have been humbled by how many people are showing up. And I'm super, super grateful. We may not all agree on every single issue. But I hope that everybody here knows that I am always true to myself. I am always true to this moment, this movement, and above all else, I am fair. Fair is literally my middle name, and I will make good on my name. I will continue to make good on my name, and if re-elected, I will not let you down. I will lift everybody up with me. I will continue to fight for every person in this community, and when re-elected as state's attorney, we will demand justice for all. Thank you.
All I can say after that is Sarah George for state's attorney. But before I let you go entirely, just one more word, and that is that those folks who have been involved in campaigns, which is a bunch of you out here know, it takes an enormous amount of work, and unfortunately it does take money as well to get the message out. So please donate and sign up to volunteer and help out. I think that stuff is still right out there in the hallway where you came in.
Definitely.
Great. So please do that. We need it. As Sarah so eloquently said, the movement needs it. We need to vindicate the work that Sarah has been doing. So please give whatever you can. Sign up to volunteer. Help out however you can. But tonight, enjoy the event. Have some more beverages, have some food, and thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.